Let's.
So I would like you to kind of go back in time and tell how you met Dominick, because that started a chain of events that now he's got a little baby.
Yeah.
I find
Not
that
with
fascinating.
Kuang, with somebody else.
Yeah. So when did I start?
How did you find out about Dominick in the first place?
4.5 years ago. Five years ago, you came into the office.
I saw one of your videos
Talking about him?
talking about him.
Was he in it, or I was just talking about network
I think
care?
I don't remember, but I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's in Orlando, or this guy's in Winter Park. Then I looked him up, and then when I went there, I think you were actually there, and you walked out. I'm like, what the? And then I don't even know exactly what I wanted to get out of it, but when you feel like called to do something, you just do it. So I remember he was trying to do the sales and give me the spiel, whatever, right? Like, oh, what this been like? I'm like, I just want to pay for whatever. Like, what's your package? And he told me that, and I just signed up and paid for it. You know, and so the only thing I remember when I first got worked on was I just felt really, really relaxed. I'm like, wow, it's like if I could just feel like chill like this all the time, it's great, right? And that's like, I guess, like stage one of care.
What, was that your first visit or your first week? When did you?
Probably like the first like month, 2 months. I was just like, I would look forward to it because whenever I go in afterwards, I just feel like relaxed. Right. I didn't notice anything else. I just felt relaxed. And then basically when you're like, oh, we're going to go into like the next stage of care and stuff, then it became like you start experiencing different things. But for the most part, I didn't actually feel much like energetically until like maybe like two years later, you know. But it just with network and stuff like that, it just made sense to keep going. I couldn't even logically tell you why, but it was just, yeah, of course, you know, like just keep going and just.
And so where did when you started going in, how did you end up introducing him to Ashley and how that all came about? Because I find that fascinating.
Yeah, so I don't even know how this happened. Connected. So like it's, you know,
because when he told me, he
it.
said that he was looking for a front desk person.
Yeah, so
and he was like, Kuang's like, I got the perfect girl for you.
So I went into Kuang's place. He had me come in and do the total food makeover.
Yeah,
where I went in and talked about high quality fats because it was something that Kuang had shared with me that he thought his members could benefit.
Yeah.
Hearing the similar message, but from a different angle, from a different person, he thought it would really help his practice, his clients to come to his gym. So I did that, and Ashley was in the back.
Yeah.
Talking to some guys. Oh, it's like all the guys, they see a pretty girl, all the guys want to talk to her, and here I am doing a workshop.
Ashley actually told me, I don't know if she ever told you this, she found you to be attractive, but in her mind, you would never go for her.
I remember her telling me that too. She's like, yeah, I didn't think he'd be interested in me.
She's hot. I don't know why she's think that.
So I guess that's how you guys met, and then and I don't even know how we started like hanging out and becoming friends and stuff. But whenever
well, I started working out in the gym just before I did that workshop. I was going to the gym doing CrossFit.
But anyways, like Janelle left a little bit later, and then you asked me I knew anybody, and then friends with Ashley. She would always complain about how I think she was like a server in a restaurant, but she's really into that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I think Ashley. And that's how you guys started.
Yeah, and I said no, I didn't like her because she was the one that was standing in the back when I'm doing my workshop, and she was just chatting it up, and it was a little bit disruptive. I'm like, I have this audience of people, and there's someone standing in the back, it's some guys talking to her, trying to like get her number or flirt with her, whatever he's doing, and I'm like, oh, they think that, you know, I thought they were kind of rude. So when he said, oh, you know, I think Ash would be a good fit. I'm like, oh, is that the girl who was standing in the back, ignoring me in the middle of my talk?
No,
like she couldn't give two shits that I'm trying to do a workshop.
I don't remember
here.
You telling me that part.
I was like, nah, she's not going to work out. I thought it was rude.
That was probably in your head. I don't know.
That's funny.
I remember saying that. I remember saying no. I know that's the one that was. I said no. I don't think it's going to work out. He said no. I think she'll be good. I'm like, no, dude. I don't think that's going to pan out. He said, yeah. So I said no 3 times, and he kept saying yes.
You're welcome.
and Corey's like that too. Because Corey and I will talk about stuff. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. If he's certain about it, he'll say, I think so. And I'm like, and I'll tell him, I was like, nah. And he'll say, yeah. And then I'm like, all right. So he has an insight that I'm not aware of, and then I'll go along with it. And I think that it's mutual the opposite way as well. So with Kuang, I said, okay, he keeps pushing it, and I'm saying no, but I'm not really certain about it. I'm trying to say, I'm basically saying no to test him. Does he really think that she's a real good fit? Because there's a part of me that doesn't think so. It's not really like a test. It's kind of like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't see what he sees, but he was so confident that she would be a good fit. I said, all right, maybe he sees something I don't see. So we'll do it. So she came in and did the interview. She could do the hours. The pay worked for her. The times were good. She had the background to be good at the consciousness exercises. So she started working for me. And then I went from not liking her, thinking she was,
talking in your
someone who's like a little inconsiderate.
And then you showed up to a yoga class.
To realizing she's actually a total sweetheart. And then she kept saying, hey, go to my yoga class, it's good stuff. So I went to the yoga class, and come on, have you been to a yoga class? You could see, where you're shopping, you know what I mean? Like, she's a beautiful woman, and she takes great care of herself.
And you were the only one that showed up to that class, right?
Well, the next yoga class I went to, the first one was packed. There had to be 18 people there.
I'm talking about the class where something happened between you guys.
The next class, there was nobody there.
Platonic.
There was nobody there. And I'm thinking, oh, wow. And it was at a CrossFit gym. If you've ever been to a CrossFit gym, they don't believe in air conditioning. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but they're anti. We're in Florida, okay? Yeah. It's hot in August in Florida. It's freaking hot. Yeah. So I said, hey, I live right down the street. I've got air conditioning in my house. Let's go do yoga at my house. And then she said, okay. I thought, I know, what a ridiculous comment. What the hell was I thinking? But she said yes. Sometimes you just got to throw it out there and say, fuck it, and see what happens. She said yes. I'm thinking, holy shit. I just asked a ridiculous request, almost jokingly, and she said yes. So I was like.
She trusted you.
All right.
She felt safe.
So we went to my house.
She liked you. Yeah. And the audience is like, well, he looks like George Clooney.
It doesn't hurt.
He does.
It doesn't hurt.
Talk about that. Yeah.
And
skinny George.
So we went to. Thank you. with a gut.
An emaciated George.
with stretched out shirt sleeves that looked like they belonged to someone who worked out at one point. So we went to my house. We ended up chatting it up. And we had an immediate connection, and we were just talking. And it's kind of one of those moments where you feel like you're talking to someone who has the same values as you and the same passion as you and the same purpose. And the more we talked, the more connected we felt. And then it ended up being, I don't know how many hours later, maybe 4 hours later, because it was like a midday yoga class in August in Florida. It was probably 98 degrees or whatever it was. So it was about 5 o'clock in the evening. I said, hey, let's go get some. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? She goes, yeah, I'm hungry. We never did yoga. And then we went out to eat. And we had a great time. And I took her to her house. And then I walked around the car. And as soon as she got out, she just leaned right over and gave me a kiss. And I was, yeah, man. I was like, and then she says, oh, well, I probably shouldn't have done that since you're my boss now. And I said, oh, no, your boss likes that.
Your boss is happy before.
Your boss thinks that's perfectly fine. You might even get a raise.
So not the kind of raise you're expecting.
Right. So come with the picture a little bit for me. This is a fascinating story. So what would her side be like? Well, when he said to go to his house, I thought maybe, or did she like you? Like,
She told me the same thing that she told Kuang, where she didn't think, I didn't think he'd be interested.
I had no idea she was interested. She's a beautiful woman. I just threw it out there. I said, fuck it. She's hot. I'm single. I mean, I was
So
in the
at
middle
any
of a
point
divorce.
at that time, you're like, she's mine, I got her. You know, like the whole, when you go to dinner with me, or did you ever go like, this still could be very
He
platonic?
just
You know-
extended an invitation, just like right out of the book.
There's
Hey,
something
let's go have
about
some
being
dinner.
rejected by an average or an ugly chick that really hits you in the nuts. But when you go up to a hot chick
Sure.
and she rejects you, you still feel good. You're like,
Yeah.
damn right.
Yes.
I got
Took a swing.
rejected. I got rejected by a
'Cause you went
hot
for it.
chick.
Yeah,
I
you
had
went
the
for it.
balls
Yeah.
to do that.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
agree.
she said
You-
it with a smile on her
But you get
face,
rejected
even.
by a girl that you didn't even think was that good
Yeah,
looking,
yeah.
you're fucked.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
Don't
That's
ever
right.
do
You're
that.
right. I've done that.
Get rejected by a hot chick, you'll still feel good. You
Yeah.
get rejected
Yes.
by an ugly chick, let me tell you, you just go home and pull the covers over your head and just wait for the next day.
No, every woman who I've really been intimidated by, but still did anyways, and it's usually like sloppy, right? Because when I'm intimidated, it's not smooth, and you know most of the times it doesn't work. I'm like still celebrating afterwards.
Hell
like,
yeah.
You said no, like, but I freaking did it. Like I did
Yep.
it for myself. It's amazing.
Yes.
That's masculinity. You showed up.
And sometimes they say yes.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
So it was a win-win. I felt good for stepping up, and she appreciated it, which it sounds like you guys, I wish I would have known that in advance. I would have asked her out earlier.
I didn't know. She told me afterwards.
I thought you, okay.
If I knew, I would have told you.
And, but anyway, so we've been together ever since.
Wow.
We had some hiccups in between where
One or
the
two.
same issues that I had in my divorce that I was going through started to show up in my relationship with Ashley, which was amazing because then it allowed me to see that it wasn't just my crazy ex-wife. It was actually, I was part of the crazy.
Right.
So then I needed to work on me. So, but that was a gift.
That's interesting. As an older man, I'm always hitting on younger women because I'm an old man, right? And so it always, you're right. It's a boost. I don't care if they go, Mike, you're old enough to be my dad. It still gives me a big rush. Like I had enough guts to do it. And some people go, God damn, I can't believe you did that. And then I do it. And then they go, you know, and every once in a while I have got further with that. And I go, I can't believe I just did that. So yeah, there's something to be said for taking that swing.
Shooting your shot, man.
Yeah.
You
What's
miss
that?
100% of the pitches
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
swing at.
You miss all the shots you don't take. So yeah, no, that's interesting.
I don't know. My experience is like as I've gotten older, it's actually gotten way easier.
Yeah.
You know, and like part of it too is like it's like for me it's like a fun game. So they ask me how I'm 37. I'll tell them I'm like 48.
Yeah, but you're Asian.
Yeah, that's
So you look like you're 25.
I'm right near the wave of white privilege.
You and your
Lucky
damn white privilege.
I remember it was last year. It was
Colonizer.
Yeah, we've been.
He doesn't even have gray hair. He'll never have gray hair.
No, but we've been like it was like the lockdown, right? It was like the first week something was open, and I went out and I met this girl that was 24, right? And me and my buddies, it's like a running joke. I've been telling people I'm 48 for the last like 7 years. So like, how old are you? I'm like 48. They're like, unbelievable. Where's your license? Like, I don't have it. I'm like, hey Doug, like tell them how old I am. I'm like, you're 47, 48. She goes, and then she goes, my dad is 45. And then
And you've
like,
been having impure thoughts about me.
no. And I said, I'm like, well, you're gonna have to figure it out. I really like you, but I'm older than your dad, you know. But you know, you're gonna have to reconcile that. And I was totally okay with her saying no because I just wanted the story, you know, just to see what happens. And I could just like feel like the gears turning in her head. I was like quiet for like 30 seconds, and then she reconciled it, you know. And like that was just, I'm like, she literally thought I was 48 and didn't matter. Like the age thing. It's not that big of an issue if it's not an issue to you.
Right.
Maybe for some it is, but
If it doesn't bother you, it ain't gonna bother
Yeah.
her. Same thing with
Yeah.
how you dress or how you wear your hair.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you don't like it, it's like just like Steve McQueen said, I
Yeah.
live for myself and I answer to
Yeah.
nobody.
yeah, she thought I was older than her dad. Didn't care.
My experience has been the more the man shows up in his masculine and is congruent with that,
Yeah,
all these other conditions become less and less and less and less important. How
Yeah.
athletic you are, what kind of shape
Yeah.
you're in, what color your hair is, how tall
He's
you are,
justifying.
yeah.
Sounds
how
good to me.
your financial income. It's like all these things
Yeah.
that what kind of car, like all these things that men typically think. What kind of car do you drive?
Yeah.
How much money do you make? Right? It's like that's the Peter meter. But the reality is the Peter meter is how masculine you are, not how tall you are, not how built you are.
Yeah.
It's that confidence and not
Yeah.
arrogance. Confidence, vulnerability.
Yeah, I would even make it simpler. It's just how good you're feeling. If you feel pretty good, like you have you're already that's the best you can do. You have a pretty good shot. If you're not feeling good, sometimes you can still make it work, but it's just not like how you feel, how you literally you're feeling in the moment matters way more. You know, and like
women go on, everything is based on emotion, right?
Like stupid shit could come out of your mouth and it'll just still work. It's like you could do whatever, you know. I always joke around with like a lot of the guys. I'm like, listen, whatever body fat percentage you think you need to get to, trust me, it's not going to work. Like it's not going to get you whatever you think it's going to get you. You know, I'm like 6'2". I'm like, whatever height you think you need to be, it's not going to get you whatever you think it's going to get you. If you just feel good, it just seems to work for you, you know, like for the most part. And not everyone's for everyone, but that's the best you can do if you're just feeling good.
Energy wins.
Yeah, and then like when that happens, that masculine energy, confidence, a sense of humor, connection, like all that just happens naturally. You don't have to think about it.
So it's not about saying the right thing. It's just about showing up with that energy and attitude.
Yeah, because like the right thing just flows out, right? So yeah,
I like it. That I can control.
And one of the coolest things with, and I think like coaching is like this a lot too. So if I'm coaching, most of the time I don't feel like coaching. You know, I'm doing it for a long time. I'm like, but rather than resist where I'm at, you just got to actually fully like accept where you're at. So if you're feeling low energy, start low energy, because as soon as you start congruent with where you're at, automatically the energy will kick up. So like if you're not confident, fully actually be with just where you're at and then just take the action anyways, right? And then like it will actually start kicking up. Like when you're trying to do it right, it actually makes it a lot worse. So if I'm low energy, I'm coaching, I try to project high energy, whoever is being coached is going to feel really off.
So don't fake it. Just be where you're at.
Just be where you're at, because that's where you're at.
Yeah, you're accepting reality. Because when you don't accept reality, you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like shit, be okay with it. Because inaction breeds fear and doubt, but taking action breeds confidence and courage. Same thing like when I'm doing a video, or if I know I've had a long day and I got several hours of coaching I'm doing that night, I'm like, I might not be excited about it, but at the end of the day, the dude paid a lot of money to talk to me, and I got to show up.
Yeah.
And so you just lose yourself in the process of trying to serve that person, and 5-10 minutes in, you know, it's like, and then the hour goes by, and then afterwards you feel great, you feel euphoric because you really helped them, and they're excited by the end of the call, and so you go from starting it out and you don't really feel like you want to do it, or same thing with like YouTube videos. Yeah. I get up and I don't feel like the last thing I want to do is another YouTube video after I've done thousands and thousands of them, but it's like I have to do it. The audience is expecting it. You know, it's funny. Like sometimes I'll do a video and I'm like, God, that really sucked. I wasn't feeling it. Didn't feel like it flowed. Like I'm gonna delete it and film it again. I'm like, I got shit to do. Fuck it. Who cares? If the video doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. And I'll publish it and it'll do like better than most of the videos I published in weeks. And then I'll have videos where I'm like, man, I killed. There was so much good information there. People are gonna really appreciate that. And it won't do real well. And I'm going. So it's like you got to show up and you got to do your thing. Because it's like it comes through you.
It's like that for working out too.
I wouldn't know. I've heard about that. Maybe I should try it sometime.
Cool. Yeah, masculinity is authenticity. It's showing up, being who you are, speaking your truth without fear, and the right people will appreciate it. Other people that get offended, they can go on down the road. And it's like, by being congruent with who you are, you repel people that don't jive with that, and you'll attract people that do, versus, you know, walking around trying to be inauthentic. Just like what you found with John Morgan, and you're just like, hey, how much money are you making a year? It's like you guys are so comfortable with each other. He's not bothered or offended. He's talking to his pal that he's known for 20-something years. Yeah,
like for you, right? It sounds like when you're making deals, right? Like in the area of business, and it just feels good. Like you have access to masculine energy in that domain of your life, right? And everyone has access to it, and a lot of it is just discovering what the blockage is, you know, and just because once you notice it, see something for what it is, even if it's stuck, it moves. Mm-hmm. You know, but if you're trying to do it, just doing the concept of it.
Well, so here's the thing: like, how do you tie into that? So I'm going to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm not. The other day I was talking to some girl, and I said, 22, 23, very pretty girl. And I said, I got some tickets. I'll give them to you. And I said, I got 2. I'm going to give them to you.
You have some what?
Tickets, like
I thought you
Universal or
said
something.
I thought you said something.
I thought you said dicks. I'm like, what?
I got 2 dicks.
That was correct for most people.
So anyway, I said, I'll give them to you. And she goes, okay, we'll go. And I went, oh my God. And then I realized it was just saying, and I go, oh, I thought I could feel your titties. And I went, in my mind, I went, oh, God damn, I can't believe it. She goes, no, Mike, it's okay. You can say that. And so is that the same thing about being that she understood me? Because I did. I said, I thought I could feel your titties. And then I went, oh, shit. And she went, oh, that's your fun. Yeah, I know you. It's okay. So what is that being in the moment?
Okay,
masculine?
so when you said, I thought I could feel your titties.
Right.
What was there? Like, what is your actual experience of it?
What do you mean? We were just standing there, and there was nobody around, and I just said it, and I thought I would try to bring it back. So, for a minute there, I was like, "Oh shit!" And then she said, "Oh, that's funny." And then we started laughing about it. I'm thinking, "Wow, I got away with saying I'll grab your titties." So I don't.
because you weren't actually ashamed of that. You were just saying it because you thought, "Hey, that'd be funny."
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was.
But if you start going, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it," then she might have gotten upset.
Yeah, because say for example, like for me, I like to make stuff funny, right? So, for example, if I was like an older guy, right, I would just play up being like a dirty old man and just like have so much fun with it.
Right.
It just rather than like whatever I'm like maybe like concerned about, how do I actually make that enjoyable and funny? And not everyone's gonna buy it, but if you can actually enjoy playing that up, like so many, you have more than enough options. I remember for a huge chunk of my life, I was actually like really insecure with the way I looked. I always thought like if I was just an average looking white guy, I would feel a lot more confident, and like contrast that with, well, I'm in a relationship now, but more recently, like the last few years, and and literally it's like a little bit of a almost like a joke, but it's most girl I date's their first Asian guy they've ever been with, right? And then it became this like running thing for me where it's actually like funny, it's just like this like I want to be the first Asian, like
right.
It's like it's not productive at all, but it's so funny, and because I think it's funny, it actually helps.
So that begs the question, because I have a mild case of cerebral palsy, so people always go, I've never really dated a handicapped guy, but you're different. So they must say that to you, right? Asian. I
have fun with it.
Wow.
I have fun with it. Like, am I the first guy with cerebral palsy ever dated?
Right.
I want to say that.
But that doesn't bother you? Somebody goes, my parents really don't like Asians. I mean, is that any of that?
No, it's hilarious. Right. When they go like, I never really liked an Asian guy, like that actually like makes me feel like a bigger winner.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
because you overcame a hurdle.
Well, at this point, I mean, it's been a while, right? It's literally just it's just funny. It's fun and funny. And then like when I'm dating someone, like I always like try to ask them, like, see if I'm the oldest guy they've ever been with. And if I'm the oldest one, that's really funny. And especially if they feel like their upper range should be like 28. Right. And I'm like 9 years older. I'm like, yes, like
it's a win.
Yeah, I beat the spread by 9 years. It's like it's funny.
It's great. It's great.
And
no
if it doesn't work, and it's I don't know, maybe I'm just like sick that way. It's so interesting and funny to see them have to wrestle with like what they're emotionally feeling, and then the rules that they have, that like what their list is, and then like that girl I was talking about last year, once she reconciled, I was fully okay, and she was really. I've been like it was like COVID, and like dating apps don't work when people are scared to come in contact with people, right? So like that was like the first girl in maybe like 2 months, and I'm like, if she just walks away and says, "No, you're too old," it was just going to be a funny story. But if she said yes, that would be worth it.
Yeah.
Right. Now I could tell the story.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So yeah. So just have fun with it.
Right.
Cool.